Coming up, what President Trump is doing a week after leaving the hospital.
And how online shopping could affect the 2020 presidential election.
All of that and more today, Wednesday, October 14th. Good morning, Emerson. I'm Mike Cerullo.
And I'm Adelaide Willert. We begin with this morning's top stories.
With Election Day just 3 weeks away, President Trump has made his return to the campaign trail. The president held rallies in both Florida and Pennsylvania at the beginning of the week, and he plans to visit other key swing states like North Carolina and Iowa in the coming days. President Trump announced Monday he's going to campaign every single day as the election approaches. The president's campaign says masks and social distancing are encouraged at these events, but photos and videos show many in attendance not taking these precautions against COVID-19.
Today is Amazon's annual Prime Day. Amazon hosted Prime Day this year on both October 13th and 14th. Prime Day allows every Amazon customer to try out Amazon Prime for the day, with a key feature being free expedited shipping. With a flood of orders from Prime Day, the U.S. Postal Service may be overwhelmed. Increasing orders could delay ballot delivery. There are only 20 days until the presidential election. Any delay in the Postal Service could invalidate thousands of mail-in ballots.
A United States top general says President Trump's promise to pull American troops out of Afghanistan before Christmas is unlikely. General Mark Milley says the deal with Afghanistan is conditions-based, which means a more significant reduction in violence needs to take place before U.S. troops can leave. There's still around 4,500 troops in Afghanistan at this time. That's more than 7,000 less than in January. But Milley says the U.S. needs to end the war responsibly and with the safety of the country in mind.
The Supreme Court will allow President Trump to end the 2020 census early. The 9th U.S. Circuit for Appeals wanted data collected until October 31st, but the headcount is now stopping effective immediately. The Census Bureau intends to meet a December 31st deadline for the results of the census. Many Democrats are speaking out against this decision. Justice Sonia Sotomayor says the harms caused by rushing this year's census will be irreparable, and the effects will impact some states and population groups for the next 10 years.
And now for our weekly update on the COVID-19 pandemic. A Nevada man is the first person in the United States to be infected with COVID-19 twice. The 25-year-old first tested positive in April, and after testing negative in May, he tested positive again in June. The man was reportedly sicker the second time around, but has since fully recovered from the virus. This is only the 5th recorded COVID-19 reinfection around the world, and scientists are currently studying why this is possible. Health experts are encouraging people to continue wearing masks and social distancing even after recovering from the virus.
The Janssen pharmaceutical companies of Johnson & Johnson have put their pause on their COVID vaccine trial. One of the participants recently came down with an unidentified infection. The clinic does not know whether the participant was given the vaccine or the placebo. Regardless, the guidelines of the phase 3 trial require testing to be put on hold until it is known whether the illness came from the vaccine or was merely a coincidence. Around a month ago, Oxford University put their vaccine trial on hold for a very similar reason. They have since resumed their testing as the world continues to search for a vaccine against the coronavirus. Now we head to our politics correspondent, Brilee Carey.
What do you have for us, Brilee?
Day 3 of the confirmation hearings for Supreme Court Justice nominee Amy Coney Barrett expected to get underway today. These current hearings are being held by the Senate's Committee on the Judiciary, who will vote whether or not to have Coney Barrett reviewed by the entire Senate for confirmation. Monday began with opening statements from the senators, with many Democrats criticizing the decision to move into a confirmation hearing so soon after Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death and so close to the election. Yesterday and today are reserved for questions from senators, while tomorrow will focus on outside testimony. Senator Lindsey Graham says he hopes to have the committee vote by October 22nd and have a full vote in the Senate sometime before the election. A vote on a second coronavirus relief package is expected to come next week. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announced the vote on Tuesday. That package is expected to include funding for small businesses as well as additional funding for personal protective equipment. One notable thing missing from this relief package, a second round of stimulus checks. But President Trump has pushed for an additional stimulus check, meaning amendment to the bill adding these in could be seen before a vote held next week. The second presidential debate between President Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden has been canceled. The Commission on Presidential Debates has announced that the debate scheduled for tomorrow night has been canceled after a back and forth between the president over COVID safety protocols. The debate was going to be held virtually after the president tested positive for COVID-19. Both President Trump and Biden have said they plan to host town halls instead of attending the debate. That final debate between Biden and President Trump is scheduled for October 22nd, but the Commission on Presidential Debates has still not decided on a format for that one. And California election officials now ordering Republican groups to remove illegal ballot drop boxes across the state. These ballot boxes are different than the official ballot boxes run by county election officials. Democrats have accused Republicans of attempting to ballot harvest with these boxes, a strategy that helps to ensure thousands of votes that may not have otherwise been submitted get submitted and can skew the results of an election. This is illegal because voters in California are required to drop off their ballots in person or through a designated family member volunteer. So using an unofficial ballot box should disqualify those ballots. Republicans have said if voters trust the individuals in charge of collecting the ballots from these unofficial boxes, then voters should be allowed to use them. The California Secretary of State's office is currently investigating these boxes. Back to you, Mike and Adelaide.
Thanks, Brilee. One Massachusetts community is pushing back against its high-risk classification for COVID-19 transmission. North Andover is the leading state in COVID-19 transmission rates, but city officials say their community is being unfairly penalized for an outbreak at Merrimack College. More than 60 students in a freshman dorm building have been diagnosed with the virus, about 4 times more than the entire rest of the town. The college cases are factored into the community count, but North Andover is appealing to Governor Charlie Baker to separate the college cases from the rest of the towns. This would bring North Andover out of the red zone, allowing residents to move forward with Phase 3, Step 2, like the rest of the state. Governor Baker has not made a decision on this matter at this time.
Change is coming to the North End's Christopher Columbus statue. This comes after Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday. The statue had previously come under fire like many others across the country. It was beheaded and taken down back in June. The Boston Arts Commission has begun designing a new statue to honor the city's Italian immigrants. As for Columbus, the statue will be repaired and relocated to the North End chapter of the Knights of Columbus.
Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker announced a plan to help tenants and renters Monday. The Eviction Diversion Initiative will provide $171 million of relief for people struggling with housing challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This comes just before the eviction moratorium is set to be lifted at the end of the week. Activists are calling for lawmakers to extend the moratorium until late into 2021, but Governor Baker says he has no plans to extend the ban on evictions, meaning thousands of Massachusetts residents could still lose their homes.
4 were rescued after a fire in Brockton. The fire broke out Tuesday morning in a 3-family home on Warren Avenue. Firemen found a woman and 3 children trapped on the 3rd floor. They were found uninjured. One firefighter suffered a mild injury at the scene. The fire began in the basement and was quickly extinguished. It remains unclear how the fire started.
And now we head over to our Emerson news correspondent, Derek Delson, for an inside look on Emerson's missed connections.
There's an abundance of Emerson College student-run Instagram pages. Emerson After Dark, Emerson Truthers, Emerson Bad News Beacon. The list goes on and on. But today we're going to be talking about one page in particular, the revival of Emerson Missed Connections. According to the owner of the account, one of the goals of the page is to give people something to do or look forward to during college in a weird world we're all currently going through together.
I think the Emerson Missed Connections page is really interesting because it allows people to anonymously reach out.
Obviously it's more crush-based, like, oh, I thought this person was cute, but even if you want to tell someone like, oh, I like your outfit today and I didn't get the chance to tell you.
I don't really like it. It kind of just clogs up my Instagram feed. There's so many submissions all the time, and I'm not really interested in them.
There's one about me, and I check it all the time, seeing the comments, seeing if anybody's claimed it as their own.
Everyone has a missed connection, I feel like. It's something everyone can relate to, which is also why the page is so popular, I feel like.
Of course I want to see a misconnection about myself. Like anybody does. It's like that little sense of validation you get. It's like a rush.
I think everyone to an extent is like, oh, I hope someone's saying stuff about me.
I don't really hope to see a misconnection about myself because I don't like the idea of someone who's been watching me.
No one knows it's you, so you don't face rejection, you don't face like people judging you.
They say pretty outlandish things.
And anonymity, it's just like they're unhinged about it.
I think a lot of people might like the Emerson Misconnections page if they're getting misconnections about themselves. I'm sure it's very flattering and people would like that. It makes them feel good.
While Emerson students may have varying opinions on Emerson misconnections, I only see its following growing in the future. For Emerson News, I'm Derek Delson.
Thank you, Derek. When we come back, Joey DuBois will give you an update on all your favorite teams.
Don't go anywhere.
Hey, we're your roomies, your homies, your new living best.
We live here too.
Thanks.
Liz!
Action. Do you have any idea what time it is?
It's time.
7. Oh. 7? It would mean a lot to me if you guys watch.
Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson.
Now we go over to our sports correspondent, Joey DuBois. What do you have for us, Joey?
Thanks, Adelaide. The Los Angeles Lakers are NBA champions once again. LeBron James wins his 4th title, and the Lakers are champs for the first time since 2010. The storied franchise ties the Celtics with the most championships in league history at 17. Notably, the title was won on National Father-Daughter Day. The Lakers dedicated their season to NBA legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna after their tragic passing in January. The Lakers persevered through a difficult year marked by a substantial gap in the season due to COVID-19. There's no doubt that Kobe, who is known for his incredible perseverance, is proud of what his old team in LA was able to accomplish in such a challenging season. The MLB League Championship Series are underway. In the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays are off to a 3-0 lead over the defending AL champ, Houston Astros. The Rays were the best team in the regular season in the AL, finishing the shortened season with a record of 40-20. Meanwhile, the Astros battled through controversy after their sign-stealing scandal last offseason and advanced in the playoffs despite stumbling to a sub-500 record. Game 4 of the series is tonight at 8:40 p.m. And on the other side, the Atlanta Braves lead the Los Angeles Dodgers 2-0 in the NLCS. The Dodgers came into the season as the odds-on favorite to win it all after the perennial contenders traded for superstar outfielder Mookie Betts. The Braves won the NL East and are led by likely NL MVP Freddie Freeman, surrounded by a strong young lineup. Game 3 is tonight at 6:05 p.m. The NFL continues to deal with the fallout of COVID-19. The Tennessee Titans were able to play their first game in 16 days last night against the Buffalo Bills after they were finally able to control their outbreak. Meanwhile, the New England Patriots missed their game last Sunday as it was canceled due to more positive tests. As a result, they will not have a bye week for the rest of their season, and they begin this daunting task on Sunday against the Denver Broncos. The league is reportedly considering implementing a bubble for its playoffs, similar to the NBA, in order to minimize the damage of the virus. America's team lost its quarterback for the year on Sunday, and it wasn't pretty. Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys scrambled to the left side and suffered one of the most gruesome injuries you'll ever see. The official diagnosis is a compound fracture and dislocation of Prescott's right ankle, and he's expected to miss 4 to 6 months. Prescott is set to be a free agent following the season after playing out this year on the franchise tag, and his free agency situation obviously becomes a lot more interesting. Many expected Prescott to command a contract nearing $200 million, but now all that may get thrown out of the window. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Joey. We now go over to our entertainment correspondent, Amogh Matthews, for the latest in Hollywood.
Thanks, Mike. Let's dive right in. For fans of Batman and/or Robert Pattinson, you'll be happy to find out that the new Batman movie has just resumed production. The movie halted production last month when Pattinson tested positive for COVID-19. The cast was seen on Monday in Liverpool, England. Fans got to see Zoe Kravitz dressed in a shiny black trench coat and matching headpiece as Catwoman, as well as Colin Farrell, who plays Batman's nemesis, the Penguin, with face scars and prosthetic wrinkles. Pattinson was cast as Bruce Wayne in late 2019 when Ben Affleck stepped down from the role. The movie is scheduled to hit theaters in June of 2021. Yesterday, Apple announced that they are releasing the next generations of iPhones in a virtual event. They are releasing 4 new smartphones. This year, the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and the smaller iPhone 12 mini. How are they different from last year's phones? So apparently this year, all the iPhones are coming with 5G capabilities. There will also be big improvements to the camera and the addition of a magnetic charging port. Apple also announced a new smart speaker called the HomePod Mini, featuring 360-degree sound. Will people buy it due to the pandemic? We're just gonna have to find out. Megan Thee Stallion partnered with Amazon Music's rap rotation to create the Don't Stop Scholarship Initiative. She's hoping to support women of color by offering $10,000 awards to 2 women of color. The rapper, who is best known for creating the song WAP, announced the scholarship on her Instagram on Sunday. The Don't Stop Initiative website reads, quote, "Women remain underrepresented and undervalued in society, and female students of color are at a larger disadvantage when it comes to access to financial resources." Megan Thee Stallion is currently a college student as well. The artist is studying health administration at Texas Southern University while also pursuing her rap career. Tom Parker, the UK singer, revealed Monday to fans that he has an inoperable brain tumor. Parker spent 5 years as a part of the popular boy band The Wanted. Some of my favorite songs by The Wanted include Glad You Came and Chasing the Sun. The 32-year-old announced on Instagram that he specifically had a grade 4 glioblastoma tumor. Unfortunately, it is terminal, and the average survival time for patients like him is between 12 to 18 months. He and his wife asked for positivity from fans, not sadness, as they are soon to be expecting their second child. Truly heartbreaking and devastating to hear about, especially as a fan myself. That's all for me with entertainment news. Now we have our What's Trending correspondent, Quinn Chao, who asked Emerson students how much they pay for the newest movie.
Good morning, Emerson. I'm Quinn Chao, and today we are mourning the loss of all of the movies being pushed back to 2021. From Dune to Black Widow, many movie studios are deciding to delay the release of these films until next year. Now, with the recent release of Mulan on Disney Plus for the steep price of $30, we're trying to find out if broke college students would pay $30 to see these new movies. Let's find out. Would you pay $30 to see Dune?
Absolutely, because first of all, Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, he can go right along with her.
No, too much sand.
Would you pay $30 to see Wes Anderson's new movie, The French Dispatch?
No, I'll dispatch the French Dispatch.
Probably yes, I would, after not seeing movies for a long time now in theaters.
Would you pay $30 to see Candyman?
No, I want to see the movie, but $30 is too much.
Candyman would get my $30 because Jordan Peele can have all the money in my bank account.
Would you pay $30 to see Wonder Woman 1984?
I think I'd pay more money to see Wonder Woman 84.
Yes, because female empowerment, let's go.
So would you pay $30 to see the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die?
Probably, because I'm quite a fan of the James Bond movie series, but $30 is a bit too much.
I thought James Bond died 10 movies ago, so probably not.
Well, there you have it, you guys. Kind of mixed responses, but let's just hope movie theaters are open next year and we can see Timothée Chalamet's face on the big screen once again. For Good Morning Emerson, I'm Quinn Chao.
Thanks, Quinn. Let's go over to our Boylston Bites correspondent, Carlee Bronkema, who visited a breakfast spot you can go to right after the show.
When you think of food, small isn't usually a word you want to hear, unless you're talking about price, of course. We visited Mike and Patty's, a small restaurant with a small menu, but big flavor and an even bigger following. We talked to Mike and Patty's owner, Mike Gurvich, to learn a little more about the place.
So, my name is Mike Gurvich, and I'm one of the owners of Mike and Patty's, which is located in Bay Village. So, Mike and Patty's was opened in 2008. And my wife and I bought it in 2012. It was started as this little neighborhood breakfast diner kind of concept from another Mike, which is kind of a funny story, and his friend whose name was Patty. Mike and Patty's is definitely a breakfast sandwich spot. That's what we're known for. We just using high quality ingredients, and we do things that are different from other people, and I think that's really the main thing. So the most popular thing on our menu is definitely the fancy. It's 2 fried eggs, cheddar, minced red onion, avocado, and bacon on 7 Grain from Iggy's. And I almost forgot the house mayo that we make, which is kind of like a spicy, zesty mayo that's really good, and you know, it just works really well together. So they're not going to be like a Dunkin' Donuts or a McDonald's price point, but they're going to be a much higher quality, and that is kind of what we're all about, and that's kind of definitely what sets us apart from regular, you know, other places.
So if you're looking for a delicious break from dining hall brunch, head to Mike and Patty's for a great breakfast sandwich. I'm Carlee Bronkema for Good Morning Emerson.
Wow, those sandwiches, those looked incredible. I could go for one right now.
Yeah, as long as we can grab a coffee afterwards.
Sounds like a plan. But first, we're joined by our musical guest, Sally Boy. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
So where did you come up with the name Sally Boy?
Honestly, so I have a song called Sally Boy, and the song actually came first, where I wrote this song with, like, I was in my living room with my dad and my neighbor, and we were sitting there, and I just wrote it, and the name just sort of like came to me, somewhat like stream of conscious, which is how I write sometimes.
That's really amazing, though. That's really amazing. So as far as the music production process goes, what's your favorite part of it? Do you enjoy the writing, the recording of the music, filming music videos? Music videos are fun to an extent. They're sort of like also anxiety inducing sometimes when there's like 20 people watching you. Like live is way better because it's literally like you're within feet of someone who's reacting to something that you're doing. So that's the best part in my opinion. And obviously COVID has affected that live performance aspect. Has that affected your songwriting process as well? I don't think it's changed how I've written. I think it's helped me realize things about my process. It's helped me like hone things about my process. Not by no means has it like made me take like a new approach to writing music. I don't think it has. I think if anything, it's just like provided me the opportunity to like get some perspective on myself and my music and how I go about, you know, flushing it out.
We wanted to congratulate you on hitting 100,000 streams on Sally Boy. What projects are you working on right now?
Thank you. It's very cool. Currently, so I have my first project done that comes out in like late October, so we're sort of just finalizing assets for that. We just shot a music video for my next single, which comes out in like 2 weeks. What are some of your future goals, because you're releasing that second album? What are some of your future goals, and what would you see yourself doing with music in the next 5 years? Obviously, my future goal is to become the largest artist in the world. That is my goal, to literally just dominate everything. But if you want like a more small scale goals, my goals are just like to have people hear me and like to hopefully have an effect on people and like in some way make someone happy or make some positive effect. Like some dude DM'd me the other day and was like, Sally Boy helped me get through rehab, and like that, just like hearing that is like more than like getting 100,000 streams, because that means like I actually changed one person's life rather than 100,000 people maybe listening to my song. So yeah, I think that's probably my main goal, just to help people. Well, Sally Boy, thank you so much for joining us.
And stick around to hear Sally Boy perform Stormy after the break.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson.
Now here's Sally Boy performing his song Stormy.
Maybe it's my own fault, never having words to say. Sinking to the asphalt, losing you in parts of me. Day and night, she's my summertime storm. Nothing's quite like those legs of hers. Day and night, she's my summertime summertime storm. Tell me it's my own fault, yeah. Maybe I can know it's true. I'm an addict. Get the habit, but using is the only way through. Do you, do you remember me? Yes. Or do you, do you, do you, do you? Do you, do you, do you, do you? Do you remember me at all? Day and night, she's my summertime storm. Nothing's quite like those legs of hers. Day and night, she's my summertime storm. Day and night, she's my summertime storm. Nothing's quite like those legs of hers. Day and night, she's my summertime storm.
Thank you, and good morning, Emerson.
Thank you so much, Sally Boy, for a wonderful performance.
You can check out Sally Boy's music on Apple Music and Spotify. Now it's time for our Happy News segment. With all the serious news in the world, we're taking this opportunity to share some lighthearted stories. Last week, researchers found what they're calling the Queen of the Ocean. A nearly 2-ton great white shark was discovered just off the coast of Nova Scotia. The shark is said to be about 50 years old and weighs more than 3,500 pounds. Researchers named her Nikumi after the indigenous Mi'kmaq people's wise old grandmother figure.
Halloween is coming up quickly, and even though trick-or-treating is being canceled across the nation, Zippia, a careers website, is telling residents what candies to buy. A nationwide study shows that the most popular Halloween candy in the state of Massachusetts is the Junior Mint. The mint-filled chocolate sweets were actually invented in Massachusetts and are still manufactured in Cambridge. Even though you can't go door to door, I'd recommend picking some up before stock runs out.
A non-profit organization in Uganda is planning to plant more than 3 million trees to help chimpanzees over the next 3 years. The organization One Tree Planted says this is part of an effort to restore Uganda's Albertine Rift, which is known for being the home to a wide variety of animal species, including endangered chimpanzees. Uganda's forests face many threats like logging and fires, but researchers say this plan could greatly benefit the forest ecosystem.
Over the past 6 months, dog adoption rates have skyrocketed. After all, who wouldn't want a puppy to love during quarantine? Most recently in puppy news, Canine Cottages, a UK organization, has done a study on dogs' heart rates. The study concluded that when your furry friend hears you say, "I love you," their heart rate goes up by almost 50%. Isn't that adorable?
That's very cute. It makes me want a dog.
I know, me too.
Well, thank you so much for waking up with us today.
We'll see you next time, and have a good morning.